My name is Miss Gupto. I'm a food corps service member, and I am a garden teacher at McEvan School in Shaw. I became a garden teacher last August when I moved to Mississippi. Before that, I used to build backyard gardens for people in West Oakland in California. Yes, sir. Last Saturday, on the 21st of April, the McEvan's 5th grade garden class went down to about an hour south to Holmes County to the Mileston Farming Cooperative. Mileston's a farming cooperative of about 12 Black Delta farmers. They farm a bunch of diversified vegetable production.
This is the Mileston community, and Mileston Co-op was formed in 1942, and it's the oldest cooperative in the country. It started on the President Johnson New Deal, and it was a resettlement community. They gave African American farmers and sharecroppers plots of land, and they so that they could become independent of plantation owners.
I've been doing farming all my life. It's still back in my time, we farmed, you know, we had to pick cotton by hand. And no equipment at all, we plied mules. You know, like, we had to ply with the animal, you know, mules. And we had to pick everything by hand. With Mileston Farm, I think I've been here about 4 years now. Well, I'm retired, really. I just help out here, like drive for, you know, plant and stuff like that.
We grow vegetables, we share in equipment, we got a youth labor force, we got a school that we've converted to a community center, we got a farmer's market, we got an aquaponic system, just a variety of things in terms of community and economic development.
The community needs some vegetables, and we feed a lot of people, you know, too. There's a little money in it, you know. If you make a good crop out of it, you know, you get probably something. But the main thing is trying to help people and feed a lot of people.
It's where the civil rights movement started. Back in the old plantation days, is where a lot of black people came to meet, and they started a lot of civil rights issues here.
Getting a little better. I've been around here all my life, you know, and that's the deal. And really, most all the land belongs to the rich man, white man, you know. And but you got black farmers, you know, and people doing good, you know. Do I have any fun? Yeah, like this, way like we doing today. That's fun, and I mean, I like outside. I like fun. I like to see stuff grow. Oh, I enjoy it. I got a lot out of just being here with you.
I think it was just like a great learning experience for the students. I think a lot of students who are not usually engaged in a classroom setting had the opportunity to be really engaged and interested in not only what, but also how they were learning while we were down there on the farm.
My name is Jamaic Miles. I am 11 years old. It inspired to survive off of land. It inspired me to become a gardener and grow many things and focus on it.
I was talking with another colleague this morning, and I had said, I forget what her question was, but I had said it's really not about the garden, it's about the people. And then she told me, which I didn't even know, but I guess I must have known, is that Cesar Chavez said it's not about the grapes, it's about the people, and that's how I feel about gardening. Something about McEvan's garden is last night, everyone who came out to the family night in the garden, we had an opportunity to plant sweet potato slips, so sweet potato babies together, And then in October, we're gonna have a harvest festival where everybody who planted gets to also harvest and take home some sweet potatoes.
My name is Araya Moore. I'm 10. We grow cabbage, carrots, sweet potatoes, and mustard greens, and regular greens. Because when I first came in here, I didn't know what to do, and every time I come in here, I learn new stuff. Some people don't have nothing, don't eat healthy, but in the garden they do.
My name is Janicia Jones and I'm 10 years old. I go to school in Shaw and McEvans Elementary. You have to follow rules, you have to listen close, and like if they tell you to plant something, like don't put a lot of water, you have to listen real close for direction and instruction. I want to be the shed manager because the shed manager has a chance to be in the shed and give the workers what they need. Have a chance to be a leader of something.
Make sure that your hole is 2 feet. Everybody say 2 feet. Say it one more time for me.
2 feet.
I can't hear you.
2 feet.
It's the real deal holy field. Thank you.
Marquita Pricer. I'm a resident of Shaw, Mississippi. I'm 34 years old. I live outside of town, like out on the outskirts on a little farm, about 1.5 acres big. I know a little bit about the garden. I grow herbs for my business, and then my family and I, we grow food to feed ourselves and to feed some of our extended family members and friends. So I know a little bit about gardening. Oh, I insist on it. When you put your hands in the soil, it's like therapy. It grounds you to the earth. So I insist that they put their hands in the soil, and it's very important for them to understand the process for growing their own food in the event that they have to sustain themselves. And you can't just go to the grocery store and pick up something. You need to know how to grow your own food. What do I expect her to learn in the garden? Lots of things. Discipline, responsibility. I expect her to learn just the process of plants growing and how they need nourishment, what types of nourishment they need. Like I said, the importance of being able to sustain yourself and feed yourself instead of just going to the store and buying something. So lots of things. I think it's really cool that there's a garden at the school. It was one of the first things that I noticed when I enrolled Erlen this year. We homeschooled previously, so this is our first experience with public school. But I think it's really neat that we have these activities, and there's a place where the kids can learn about food sustainability and everything that comes along with that. And the community can come here and gather and fellowship and then pick herbs to use and take home, you know, for their betterment and for their benefit.
Something that's hard about my job is lack of resources in general. In the Delta, at Delta Health Alliance, in Mississippi more generally. Lack of access and knowledge around resources.
You know, this town that's a great question. There's no grocery store here. And Dollar General, which is not a grocery store, but they just got food, like more food products within the last, few months, I think, maybe like within the last 6 months. So before that, if somebody wanted to get food products, they would have to either rely on what's at the convenience store, which is not much and it's never fresh, or in order, if they wanted to get fresh, they'd have to drive to Cleveland or to Greenville, which is 20 to 30 minutes drive. So it's very inconvenient. So when you look at having access to fresh foods, if there isn't a community garden and there's no grocery store in the area, then people have no options. And processed food is much, much, much less healthy than fresh food that's grown, especially if it's organic.
I think that gardening can be a really tough subject to talk and think about, especially in Mississippi, in the rural American South. especially when it comes to issues around race and slavery and sharecropping and legacies and histories of that and the weight that bears down on modern day garden programs. But the kind of responsibility that comes with being a garden teacher to navigate those issues is like, very beautiful. And I feel really honored to have been trusted with such an important thing.
To reap a harvest, we must sow. It takes love to make things grow. Our roots are strong, and this we know. When our blossoms start to show.
Let's give everyone a big round of applause.
Working this old man died.